Today we're checking out tone controls on a fuzz circuit. Lots of people find fuzz a bit difficult to use in their rig, particularly live with a band. When you're adding that much distortion to a signal, that much clipping, yeah, you're really kind of evening out those frequencies that maybe might poke you through the mix, right? Like a tube screamer might do. You're really flattening everything off. So tone tends to be quite woolly, quite full, quite bassy at one extreme, but then depending on the amp it could be searing and cutting and harsh at the other extreme. So yeah, today we're going to be doing a bit of experimentation with that. I just decided to take the back off of the Embers so that I can access the fat switch inside, basic cut switch or whatever. I've not bothered to name it, it's inside. So let's do gain almost all the way up. Bias at 3 o'clock for now, volume's down low because we have a high headroom amp, so to be unity-ish. Bit of underdrive. So this is one of the things that I want the tone control to be able to do. When you're lowering it, getting rid of some of that fizz. I know part of that is in the gain of the transistors, which is why I'm changing out the transistors for the next version. But do you kind of hear that sizzle in there? Sometimes it's nice, and on certain amps it's really helpful, but yeah, I just wanted the option, you know. Let's tune up. These single coil pickups are out of an old Squire Strat, my first electric guitar, and they're quite hot and fat. So if anyone has any single coil Strat pickups that they recommend. So yeah, Embers, underdrive, or whatever I played. Do you see what I mean about that kind of sizzle? It stays there even with the input level really down low. So let's leave that up in the middle, leave gain where it is, and let's do a bias sweep. So bias affects so much of the character, you know, you'd want to balance it with tone as well. So this is with the bias knob all the way up. This is where we were. Down to about 12. So we're getting louder and we're getting fatter. Uh, 9 o'clock. And then bias all the way down. woolly. So yeah, some sort of low-end control, some sort of high-end control, and what we're going to be looking at mostly today is post-fuzz, right? But there's an internal bass cut switch on this Embers that is pre-fuzz. Now I've got it on the more bassy side at the moment. Let's switch it. So yeah, that's quite a low high pass filter. It doesn't really affect tons, but yeah, like calling it fat switch I think is. Having it on really tightens it up. Okay, that's enough of just the Embers. Let's do some tone stuff. Okay, so now we've got the Embers fuzz, we're going into the board, and I've just put a 10 end cap and a B500K pot, quite extreme, in line, and we're going to see what this does. So with the pot all the way off, no noticeable difference. Let's start to bring it in. So we're really able to blanket that top end. Obviously that's very extreme. So I think you can hear and see that's not a super lovely sounding tone control. Yeah, I think I described it as having a blanket put over it, which I think is pretty apt. Like, it does a job. It reduces a bunch of the volume though, and I wouldn't exactly say it's nice. So yeah, let's move on to another one. Okay, so we're gonna try the Stupidly Wonderful Tone Switch tone control from music.com. This was recommended to me as a good option for like high gain distortion-y tone controls. Now obviously if this were built into a circuit, well, not necessarily obviously, but it's likely it will be before the volume control. But we've got our volume on here, so this is with our new tone control all the way off, so as in as dark as it will get. Yeah, I mean, I'd say that's fairly unusable. I mean, the overall tone control is adding resistance, so the level is less, but I mean, we've got level to spare on the Embers. Yeah, I'm not really playing very well because I'm really listening. I mean, the obvious thing that I'm noticing is that audio taper pot isn't helpful. So we are losing a lot of volume with it. I'm going to change to the Tele. Get some more of that brittle treble involved. Yeah, so I think we're losing some mids there, aren't we? Yeah, I don't know if I love this tone control arrangement either. Let's try something else. So this one, we are going straight from the signal into the resistor, variable resistor pot in lug 1, and then the output is connected to lug 3, and then we've got our capacitor, I'll go with the 10 for now, that is bridging 2 to 3. It's a subtle high-end control. I'm going to try a higher value pot. I've got a 500k here. Yeah, that's a bit more of a full sweep. Sorry, I realise that's so loud. Okay, so that is with the pot all the way off, so as bright as it will go. This is roughly halfway, so that's probably too dark, isn't it? Yeah, that's nice and tamed. Okay, I'm getting bored of the super reverb. Let's go to my normal test patch. So here is clean. That is loud. Let's turn it down. Okay. Yeah, man. I think I like this one, you know, even with the 500k, maybe? You know, even all the way up. Yeah, I think I like it with the 500k. I think that's usable, you know? So it's Monday morning. I'm out walking the dog. Find it a very creative time walking the dog. I think it's something about exercise, being outside, and yeah, so I was just kind of thinking over the video because I kind of finished it on a, well, I don't know, I was pleased with what I worked out, but I knew that it would take some work to get it into the Embers. Obviously, I think I ended with a 1M pot with a 22N cat over it as our kind of treble control, just to kind of tame the presence a little bit on there. But yeah, I knew that when I kind of put it inside the circuit that it would need some adjusting to have the same kind of effect, but yeah, the values would need to be different, right? Because I was working on it outside the circuit, you know, after the volume control, after everything. So yeah, I know I wanted to revisit it, and I was also thinking about the low end control, which was the little switch that I have on the inside that changes the input capacitor, so determines how much low end is going through the fuzz. Obviously, if you put lots of low end in the fuzz, it keeps things fuzzy for longer as you reduce the gain. And so I think what I'm going to try out is having some sort of a clean blend, but a clean blend that's filtered, so you get kind of, you can blend in the actual low end from your guitar without the kind of emphasized fuzzed low end, almost like you get on bass guitar pedals where you get a clean blend. This will also make it usable for bass guitarists as well, without doing what I did and routing a kind of parallel route with an effects loop through the HX stomp. But anyway, so yeah, that's what I'm going to try, like a filtered clean blend alongside the fuzz, and then maybe raise the input capacitor to see if I can get some improved cleanup from the underdrive circuit. So yeah, that's why this video is taking a little bit longer. I kind of knew that I wasn't quite finished, wasn't quite satisfied with the results that I was getting. Well, I was, but I knew it needed more work. So yeah, let's get on with that. Well, it's been a bit of a week, a bit of a journey. It was this time last week that I filmed the first bit of this video, where I was playing with working out a low pass kind of tone filter thing for the Embers fuzz. So I did that, I did it on the breadboard after the Embers fuzz, and then I was kind of reflecting on that, realising that things like loading and impedance are going to affect that tone circuit if I put it like inside the Embers. So I worked on that for a bit, and one thing just kept leading to another. So just to kind of wrap up this video, I guess, I'm just going to show you what I've ended up with. So I'm coming out of the Embers circuit, it's a big mess. I'm going into a buffer. Then what I'm doing then is blending in some high-passed clean signal to get a clean low end back into the sound of the fuzz. So that's really good for bass, because like bass needs like a parallel clean path. But for this, it's really nice because I found on certain bias settings in particular, the clean sound was too bright without enough low end. Like you turned it on, it sounded great, but there was a noticeable difference in low end. And so just to be able to dial in a bit of that clean low end is really nice. Obviously, depending on what you've got before the pedal, it may not necessarily be clean. So fuzz, buffer, the split happens, by the way, before the fuzz. And goes into a low pass filter voltage divider, and then after the fuzz comes into the buffer, it's summed together with that clean blend. We go from there into a makeup stage. So on the other side of the op amp that I'm using for the buffer, I've got a makeup gain stage, and then as part of that makeup gain stage, I've got the tone control. So the sum signal is going into lug 5 on the TL072, and then across 7 and 8 I've got a resistor, then out of 8 I've got a capacitor. So like effectively across that makeup gain resistor I've got a capacitor in series with a variable resistor that then is working as like a low pass. So anyway, what we end up with, we've got our fuzz, that then you can blend in some clean lows if you want to, and you can tame the high end if you want to. Hopefully that all makes sense. Let's see if this mess works. It's going to be noisy because, you know, we're coming out of a fuzz. Other things have changed too, by the way. Just kind of as I did one thing or the next, just changed things based on what I thought they should sound like. Let's find unity volume. That'll do. This is just fuzz, so no filter, no clean bass blend. Going into the super reverb. So this is the extent of the low pass, so rolling off some of the trebles. So I feel that's a usable sweep, right? So I can't remember exactly what the setup I had before was in terms of how it worked. So obviously this is really different because it's part of the op amp, but I really like it. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. That's roughly halfway, I think. Now let's bring in some clean blend. So here you go, this is what it's blending in. And then let's put that summing resistor back in. In a minute I'll show you what it's like on bass. Now this really comes into its own when we're underdriving. So let's turn up that volume. Need to work on this makeup gain. But, so the underdriven sound with no bass blend. Let's push that volume up a bit more. Let's go for that. Maybe that needs to be a bit less subtle. So I'm kind of balancing the summing resistors. So I'm just going to increase the resistor from the fuzz. There we go. That's got a bit more difference, hasn't it? So. So it's like adding weight. Here it is at about midday. Here's bypass. I realise I'm not playing much anything interesting. Low end rolled off. Low end rolled in. Here's full fuzz with that updated summing resistor on there. So it's more subtle on the full fuzz. Let's try some bass guitar. I'm just going to turn it on with the bass rolled all the way off, so just fuzz. Let's roll some of that clean low end in. So here's no clean bass blend. Then let's blend in that clean bass. Back to just fuzz. Maybe I want to change some gain on there, but yeah, you get the idea. I'm going to call it a day on this video. It's still a work in progress, but I'm pretty happy with that. Let's go back to guitar just to play us out. I'm not sure how much of my demo the blend of the pots was working particularly well. Right, I'm back on my AC30. I'm going to blend in some clean low end. I haven't touched the tone pot, the treble tone pot. Let's try and get a more biasy sound. Yeah, I think with this config I need to increase the gain. You know what, maybe I don't need to increase the gain. Maybe it was just that I had the tone knob rolled all the way down, nearly all the way down, and it was taking the edge off the fizz. Well, that's not super fuzzy. Definitely could be fuzzier.